At 4:15 p.m. on December 22, 1986, I felt as though I was dying, really dying. I lay down and soon was flooded by the most intensely bright white light filled with the most awesome power and love in the universe. In the light I heard the thunderous fluttering winds and the most beautiful sounds of angels' voices singing louder than the thunderous winds. My body was becoming paralyzed with the power of the light. The love was overwhelming to me. I was terrified of losing control over my bodily functions, desire to be in control, desire itself, movement, thought. Everything human was dying in this light. When it swallowed me whole, an explosion of ecstasy and love started from my belly and expanded into the light itself. Soon, I became the light and became innocence, love, ecstasy, peace, power and beauty and wisdom of the light. Like a mother carrying a child in her arms, the light carried me upwards and at tremendous speed. The light itself spoke to me and I knew it was God, the power that created the whole universe. The light told me this first clear light heaven I was in, which was 1,000,000 times brighter than any love I ever felt on earth, was filled with countless paradise planets. I looked down at my body and it was made of white light but still had a luminous human form. I spent some time there, but was taken higher, where the joy and glory of God was crushing me to the point that I could not bear the ecstasy any longer. Thus I exploded into a new light and glory of innocence, love, ecstasy, peace, power and wisdom 1,000,000 times brighter than the first heaven was. My new body was brighter and clearer and could somehow withstand this exponential increase in glory. I was told this second heaven was filled with countless paradise planets. In each ascending heaven, the glory of these qualities in the light multiplied another 1,000,000 times. It is inconceivable how bright and beautiful life is in these heavens to any mind alone, separate from this light. I was taken to the point where the ecstasy and love were so overwhelming, I could barely stand the levels of cosmic energy and ecstasy any longer. I exploded into a new light 1,000,000 times brighter than the second heaven, thus the third heaven. Here, my body was still human but so much white light shining from it I could not believe my eyes. I could see for millions of miles with perfect clarity. The sounds of the angels singing was so beautiful, and thunderous and glorious above me, I felt as if their sound vibrations were filled with wisdom, so sophisticated, that these sound vibrations were actually creating life and myriad possibilities in the universe, that angelic sounds were not just singing for the fun of it alone, but were creating with sounds. I sped through this third heaven and was taken into the fourth, where the glory of God was so bright. I felt any being here was beyond even inconceivable glory. My body was so bright here that it had little remains of the human form. The glory was so bright and filled with these qualities, I told God, I can't take any more. You are far greater than I ever imagined God to be by inconceivable measure. Whole galaxies of energy could be created by this light. I asked God to not take me higher, but God did. At this point, because the glory was so bright and beyond my abilities, this amazing quality, descending down from the even brighter light above me. I do not think there are any planets up here, but perhaps beings live inside of stars here. The grace of God, the most beautiful and poetic quality of God came down like millions of leaves falling in harmony and stilled and purified the ecstasy and glory to the point that I could bear it. I could write a whole chapter on grace and not do it justice. Then I was taken into the fifth heaven. My body was now like a giant sun. It had no human form anymore. The glory here was unspeakable. What goes on here is truly unbelievable for human beings. I stayed there for some time and was taken into the sixth heaven, which is 1,000,000 times brighter than the fifth. I will not speak about how bright God is here. The angels were singing so loud that no human ears could hear this music of the universe. My body was an even brighter sun merged into the central light of God. I was then taken into the seventh heaven, and what happens there is so far beyond my abilities. God brought me down. I only lasted 10 seconds in the seventh heaven. Whole galaxies could be created with the light there, with total ease. Any beings that can go there are millions of years more evolved than I am. To think that in each of these higher heavens the light and glory of innocence, love, ecstasy, peace, power, beauty, grace and wisdom multiplies 1,000,000 times over the preceding heaven, makes it so difficult to pass through and live in.